What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to take a little bit of a look at the FAQ for the third Digimon TCG set, Union Impact. Because the set is out, there is an FAQ. What we're going to do, not talk through the rulings. That, ladies and gentlemen, does not sound like me. Though we probably will have to split it into a couple of videos just so we can actually fit it all in. Shout out to the lovely folks over at game-academia.com for providing our translations here like they have for the last couple. Those dudes are awesome. So starting off then, we need to have a chat about Minamon. Lovely inheritable skill here that says, if you are attacking an opponent's Digimon, you get an extra 1000 power until the end of the turn. So the question here, of course, what if you are attacking the player, but then you get blocked by an opponent's Digimon? You are not attacking a Digimon, you're attacking the player, but then you end up attacking a Digimon. And the answer is no, you don't get the extra power. If you declared the attack against your opponent player, you do not get the extra boost if you're attacking a Digimon when they block. Sorry. Zubamon here has a rather lovely skill. When you play, you reveal the top 5 cards of your deck, and you get to add one Ragnar Lordmon and one Digimon with the Legend Arms type to your hand, putting the rest of the cards to the bottom of your deck in any order. So, of course, then the question becomes, well, actually, there's a bunch of questions. If I only find a Ragnar Lordmon or a Legend Arms type Digimon, can I just put them into my hand? Yes, absolutely you can. Doesn't have to be both. If you find either, you put them into your hand. If you find both, you put both into your hand. If the card revealed 2 Ragnar Lordmon, bearing in mind Ragnar Lordmon has the Legend Arms type, can you put them both in your hand? Yes. One of them gets designated as Ragnar Lordmon, and one of them gets designated as a card with Legend Arms. Lovely. And if it reveals one Ragnar Lordmon and one Legend Arms type Digimon card, can I choose to only put one of them into my hand? No. You have to put them both if you find them both. Like we said a second ago, unfortunately it is a put them into your hand, not a you may put them into your hand. There is a new Greymon coming in the set. It's one of those security Digimon, so at the end of the battle you play it without paying its cost. And we have seen there is one of these for every type coming along in this particular set. So the question then is, and then again there's a few questions here, is a Digimon played by this card's effect also treated as a security Digimon in the battle area? No. It is a security skill that puts it into play. It is then just a regular Digimon. Can you be played even if you lost the battle against the attacking Digimon, i.e. for Greymon here, if they've got, or War Greymon, if they've got more than 4,000 power, which they almost certainly will? Yep, regardless of the battle, it is played. And with this card's effect, if it was revealed from a security check, but the attacking Digimon still has extra security checks left, i.e. they've got security attack +2 and this is the first one revealed, is the Digimon played first, or do the remaining checks get made? And the answer is, the timing is to play the Digimon after its battle, i.e. before the remaining security checks actually happen. There we go. Selfiemon comes in. It's got a lovely skill. When you Digivolve, you change an opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon's power to 1000. And on your turn, it is also treated as a yellow Digimon. So, can I evolve it into a Digimon with the evolution condition from a yellow level 5? And the answer is yes. Yes, you can. Because while it is in play, it is treated like a yellow and a red Digimon. So if you've got a Digimon that evolves from a yellow level 5, this will absolutely work. What does original DP mean? Remember, we're dropping the original DP down to 1000. It is referring to the written power on the card. The written power essentially becomes 1000. Okay. If a Digimon that is having its power lowered by 1000 is then affected by this, what happens? Well, the answer is that it goes down to 1000. It's lowered by 1000. It gets deleted. Sorry. Now, we knew that Ragnar Lordmon was going to end up giving us a bunch of rulings. It was kind of inevitable. Ragnar Lordmon is quite a big deal, shall we say. It's got security attack +1, it's got reboot, and when you Digivolve, you may add a Durandamon or Ludemon from your hand to the top of its evolution sources to gain free memory. So, for the card's effect, if you have a Durandamon or a Ludemon in your hand, do you have to activate the effect? No, the wording is you may. And also, your hand is secret. You would have to reveal your hand, and that would be naughty. For this card's effect, how do I place those Digimon? The answer is you place them at the top of the evolution sources, like a second level 6. And after paying the evolution cost of this Digimon, the memory is put to one or more on my opponent's side, but then I gain free memory when I evolve, and it's now back to my side. Does my turn end? The answer is no, because after resolving everything, it ends up either on your side or at 0, meaning your turn continues. Essentially, we look to see where the memory is at the end of the whole effect, and you evolve it, goes to your opponent, you gain the memory back to you. It never becomes your opponent's turn, and you are good to go. Now, we do have a couple rulings about Adramon here, but I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. It is the blue security Digimon, so both the questions and the answers are exactly the same as they were with War Greymon. I don't think we need to spend a lot of time going back over them. So let's move on and have a little bit of a chat about Duftmon, or Leopardmon as we generally know it over here. And love the fact that we've actually got an English scan of this card. Yay! We don't have English scans of many of the third set, but we do have a couple, and it makes me happy. When you Digivolve, you may play a level 4 or less Digimon from your Digivolution sources, from any of your Digimon's Digivolution sources, without paying the cost. And for the entirety of your turn, all your level 3 and 4 Digimon have jamming. So, when you evolve, do you have to activate the effect? Nope. The wording is you may, ergo you can choose to do it, or you can choose not to. Remember that a lot of your Digimon may have evolution skills or inheritable skills, and playing those Digimon would mean you lose that inheritable skill, and that would be sad, so no, you don't have to do so. Can I choose a level 4 or less Digimon from the evolution sources of this Digimon? Or does it have to be one of my other? Nope. Any Digimon that you've got in play will do nicely. And when my level 4 Digimon that gained jamming from this card's effect turn into level 5 or above, do they lose jamming? Yes. Of course they do. It is a your turn effect, which means it is a continuous skill, which essentially is constantly checking throughout your entire turn. It doesn't give a Digimon a skill until the end of turn, in which case evolving it would generally mean it keeps that skill. It is all of your level 4 or below Digimon. We are constantly checking, and the second they turn into a level 5, boom! Gone. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Moving on to Imperial Dramon Dragon Mode, we've got a skill that says if it Digivolve from Peldramon or Dino Beamon, you reduce the cost of evolution by 2. It has jamming, and when you Digivolve into it, all of your Digimon that have jamming become active, which, to be honest, sounds quite good to me. So when I evolve into this card from Peldramon or Dino Beamon in my raising area, is the evolution cost reduced by 2? No, ladies and gentlemen, say it with me. Skills do not activate in the raising area, and Digimon in the raising area cannot be affected by skills. That is to say, no matter what happens in the raising area, no skills actually happen, because skills don't work in the raising area. We've seen it time and time again. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, it ain't happening. You've got to pay the full cost. Moving on to Lopmon, when you play it, you look at the top card of your security stack. If you add that card to your hand, you may then trigger a draw 1, i.e. you draw a card. After confirming the security card, if I choose not to add it to my hand, what happens to the security card? It goes as the top card of your security stack. After confirming the security card from this card's effect, when I add it to my hand, do I have to show it to my opponent? Nope. Because it doesn't matter what card it is, it's any card. You don't have to show your opponent that it is a particular card, ergo you don't have to show it to your opponent. If you have 0 security, can you still use this effect to draw a card? No! You draw a card if you add the security card to your hand. No security means you're not adding it to your hand. You don't draw a card. And if I have 0 cards in my deck, can I just do the part that adds a security card to my hand? Yes, you can. Because it still activates, even if you've got 0 cards in your deck, and then you go to draw, but you can't, and you're fine. Remember, you only lose the game if you cannot draw during your draw cards phase. It is not any time you would draw a card. Angliomon is another one of these Digimon that has got the security skill that plays it for free when it comes out as a security card. So we've got the same 3 questions, we've got the same 3 answers. Let's not worry our pretty little heads about it. Let us instead talk about Shakumon, which is a blue Digimon, and on your opponent's turn, all of your opponent's Digimon without Digivolution sources get security attack -1. So, and this question might seem a little repetitive, I apologise. Can I evolve this Digimon into a Digimon that evolves from a blue level 5? Yes, because it is a blue Digimon. When this Digimon is on my opponent's side, and my Digimon gains an evolution source by evolving, do I lose a security attack -1? Yes, absolutely it does. Because, again, it is a constant thing on your opponent's turn, it is constantly checking, and as soon as you Digivolve, you then do have Digivolution sources, so you're not a Digimon with no Digivolution sources, so you don't get security attack -1. Cherimon is a rather adorable Digimon, and when it attacks, if your security is 3 or less, you place a yellow Digimon from your trash on top of your security. So then the question we need to ask is, when I put a yellow Digimon from my trash to my security, do I have to show my opponent? Yes. And if we go back to what I was saying a minute ago, you are only allowed to do this with a Digimon. And you've got to show your opponent it is a Digimon, not an option card or a tamer. So you have to show your opponent in order to verify that it is in fact a Digimon. Yes, that will give your opponent extra information, and yes, that will potentially give them a little bit of an advantage, but it's the only way to make sure that it is a Digimon. Clavis Angel is another one we probably need to have a bit of a chat out, another yellow level 6. When you attack, if your security is 3 or less, one of your opponent's Digimon gets -6,000 power until the end of the turn. Okay. Well, after my opponent's Digimon gets -6,000 power, I then play a recovery card, which puts my security back up to 4. Does the -6,000 effect go away? No. No, it doesn't. This is an example of what I was talking about earlier. This is an effect which just comes in. When you attack, you lower it by 6,000 until the end of the turn. We're not constantly checking. We lower it by 6,000. It's done. We move on with our lives. Cherimon has got one of these lovely skills on both players' turn. Your opponent cannot gain any memory except by using tamers. So tamers can give them extra memory, but option cards and Digimon skills and all of that cannot. Okay. When my opponent has this Digimon on their side, what happens to the memory gained? Because of the effect of Gravity Press. Metal Greymon, Gargamon, Cherimon, essentially what we often refer to as the memory borrower cards that give you memory now, but then take it back at the end of the turn. And the answer is, the plus memory effects do not happen, but the minus memory effects do. So if I go ahead and attack with Metal Greymon, I don't gain the free memory, because that would be me gaining memory outside of a tamer card, which I'm not allowed to do. But I do give the memory back at the end of the turn because there's nothing stopping me doing it. I wouldn't do it. You're paying free memory to attack. That's not good. What about Hammer Spark? Doesn't work. Even if it comes out as a security card, it is still a way of you gaining memory without actually going and using a tamer. So no, it doesn't work. Now, we also have a bunch of rulings about Flymon, but you've probably guessed at this stage, it is the same free rulings we had before, which means that they will inevitably have the same free answers. It's another security Digimon. We don't need to worry our pretty little heads about it. But let's have a talk about Dokugamon. I'm sorry if my pronunciation isn't perfect. When you play, you reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, you add a level 5 and a level 6 Digimon among them to your hand, trashing the remaining cards. Okay. If the cards opened revealed only either a level 5 or a level 6, can I just add that to my hand? Yes. Once again, if you only get some of the effect, you still get to take advantage of it. You do not have to have every part of it. As long as you get a little bit of it, you can use it, and we are very much good to go. Now, another lovely level 6 we can talk about is Mega Gargamon. When you Digivolve, you rest one of your opponent's Digimon, but that does not become active during your opponent's next active phase. And on your turn, if your opponent has any rested Digimon, you gain security attack +1. So, the evolving effect, can I use it on my opponent's Digimon that is already rested, or suspended, in order to stop it being unsuspended during my opponent's next active phase? And the answer is yes. Essentially, you go to suspend it, they're already suspended, that's fine, and then they cannot be unsuspended during your opponent's next active phase or unsuspend phase. Sounds kind of fun to me. Now, Chumon is a lovely card which has the exact same skill as Cherimon, and that means we've got the exact same questions as Cherimon, which means we're not going to spend any time having a chat about them, because we've already had a chat about them. And on a very similar note, we could have a look at Ludemon, which has got the lovely skill that when you play it, you get to look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and then you get to add a Ragnarlormon and a Digimon with Legend Arms to your hand, but it is the exact same skill as we saw on Zubamon, so we do have a few questions, but they're the same questions as we saw, and they have the same answers as we saw. But we do need to have a chat about Garurumon. Only kidding, Garurumon again has that exact same security skill we've already seen a couple of times, which means the same questions and the same answers. But we do need to have a chat about Craniummon, and we actually do need to have a chat about Craniummon, and this will be the last one we talk about in this video. So Craniummon then has Blocker, which is awesome, and on both players' turns, all of your Digimon with Blocker cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card's effects. What does that mean? It means even if they are targeted with an effect with a card that says destroy or delete, Gaia Force would be a commonly played example, it doesn't work. They can still be defeated in battle, and they can still be destroyed by having their power lowered to 0, because that's not a card effect in a way, that's a mechanic. It's a weird one, but lowering power to 0 is not the same as deleting them by an effect. But the thing is, if you've just got a card like Gaia Force that is trying to delete them, it doesn't work. Gutted and sorry. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Lots of good rulings. There will be a part 2 that I will be bringing you in the very near future, so do make sure you look out for that lovely video. For now, I want to know what you think about all of these rulings. I want to know if any of these took you by surprise. I'd like to know, frankly, anything you'd like to tell me, so go nuts in the comment section, but be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wossy. That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.